Leo Lavia stood at the viewport of the diplomatic station, watching Earth shrink to a pale blue dot against the endless void. Behind him, the council chamber buzzed with alien voices discussing his fate as if he were cargo rather than a sentient being. The Treaty of Andromeda had been clear. To prevent war between humanity and the Xantharian Empire, a human must marry into their ruling class. Leo, a nobody from the outer colonies, had been selected by lottery. His bride-to-be was Ambassador Kael Rin, a Xantharian of considerable political power. She was 56 Earth years old to his 23, with silver-scaled skin that shimmered like moonlight on water and eyes that burned with ancient intelligence. The Xantharians aged differently, living for centuries, but by any measure, Kael Rin was his senior in every conceivable way. "You may call me Kael," she had said during their first meeting, her voice like wind through crystal. "I understand this arrangement is not ideal for either of us." Leo had wanted to laugh at the understatement. Not ideal? He was being sold into marriage to secure peace, bound to an alien he'd never met, expected to smile and play the dutiful human spouse while Earth pretended this wasn't glorified slavery. The wedding ceremony was a spectacle broadcast across 3 star systems. Leo wore traditional Xantharian marriage silks that felt like water against his skin, while Kael stood beside him in her ceremonial armor, every inch the warrior diplomat. When she took his hand, her scales were surprisingly warm. "Forgive me," she whispered in English, practiced but accented. "I did not wish this burden upon you." Those words haunted Leo through the first weeks of their marriage. Kael kept her distance, giving him an entire wing of her estate on Xanthar Prime. She made no demands, requested no intimacy, asked nothing except that he appear beside her at official functions. She was in every way trying to make an impossible situation bearable. It was her kindness that first broke through his resentment. Leo discovered she woke before dawn to train in her garden, moving through combat forms with deadly grace. She read constantly, ancient texts and human literature alike. She played an instrument that sounded like rain on glass. And when the Xantharian High Council attempted to use their marriage to pass legislation that would restrict human autonomy in the treaty zones, Kael had publicly destroyed the proposal with a speech so scathing that 2 counselors resigned in shame. "You protected Earth's interests," Leo said that evening, finding her in her study. Kael looked up from her datapad, surprise flickering across her features. "It was just, the treaty's purpose is cooperation, not subjugation. No one else would have fought that hard." "Perhaps." She set the datapad aside. "But you are my husband, Leo Lavia, an unwilling one, thrust into circumstances beyond your control. The least I can do is ensure your people are treated with dignity." Something shifted in Leo's chest. He began spending more time in her presence, first joining her morning training sessions, then sharing meals, then eventually talking late into the Xantharian night about everything from human philosophy to alien politics. Kael listened with genuine interest, challenged his assumptions, made him think deeper than he ever had. The change in their relationship didn't escape the council's notice. When hardliners demanded Leo produce an heir to truly seal the alliance, Kael's response was ice and fury. "My husband is not breeding stock," she declared before the full council. "He is a person with autonomy and rights. This arrangement was forced upon him. I will not compound that violation." But it was Leo who surprised everyone, including himself. "I want to stay," he told her privately after the session. "Not because of the treaty. Not because I have to. Because in the past 4 months you've shown me more respect and consideration than most humans ever did. You've fought for my people when you had nothing to gain. You've never once treated me as lesser, despite having every advantage of age, power, and position." Kael's eyes widened, their luminescence brightening. "Leo, you need not— I know I don't need to. That's exactly why I want to. You gave me choice when no one else would, so I'm choosing. I'm choosing you." The marriage that began as political theater became something neither had anticipated. Leo discovered that Xantharian concepts of love developed slowly, building over years through trust and shared experience. What humans rushed into with passion, Xantharians cultivated with patience. It suited them both. When Leo stood before the council 6 months later, he spoke not as a hostage but as a true ambassador. His words carried Kael's wisdom and his own perspective, bridging human emotion with Xantharian logic. The resulting reforms reshaped the treaty into genuine partnership. Earth's media called it Stockholm Syndrome. Xantharian traditionalists called it scandal. Leo and Kale called it none of their business. On their one-year anniversary, Kale presented Leo with a gift: full Xantharian citizenship and the legal right to nullify their marriage at any time without consequences. "You should have freedom," she said. True freedom. Leo took the documents and, with Kale watching, fed them into her study's incinerator. "I am free," he said, taking her hand. "Free to make my own choices. And I choose this. I choose us." Kyle pulled him close, her scales warm against his skin. "Then I am the most fortunate being in the galaxy." The marriage that was meant to end a war became something far more powerful. Proof that connection could bridge any divide, that respect could blossom into love, and that humanity's greatest strength wasn't force or cunning, but the ability to find hope and forge bonds even in the most impossible circumstances. Leo Lavia had been forced into marriage with an alien 33 years his senior. He'd chosen to stay with his wife, his partner, his equal, and that choice echoed across the stars, changing everything.